Hello. So tonight is World Book Night, which is when we celebrate the sort of pleasure of reading and the joy that books bring us. So I thought today I'm going to recommend some of my absolute favourite books. And I say some because it is a series. It is the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. So this is a sort of fantasy series, a fantasy world. There's about 50 books in the series. And so, yeah, we are talking fantasy. So it is dwarves and trolls, witches, wizards, magic and mayhem. Death himself is a recurring and much loved character. But there's also more to it than it being a fantasy world, because what it is the most fantastic sort of commentary and satire on our world. Like, Terry Pratchett is just a genius. He will make you laugh about so many things from our world, from monarchy, politics, democracy, TV, film, music, your family, your friends, your neighbours, your pets. He will find it and he will comment on it and make you laugh about it, which is just wonderful. But it's also, again, it's even more than that. It's not just funny. Once you get into this world, into these books, they're incredibly powerful and moving, and you see the same characters crop up again and again, sometimes as the main character, sometimes just at the side. And once you fall in love with those characters, when you see those characters come up again, it just fills you with this sort of warmth and joy to see your favourite characters back in action. And so, I'm just going to talk quickly about two of the books in the series I particularly love. And the first one features the character who is my absolute favourite character in the Discworld, which is Sam Vimes. Sam Vimes is, sorry, I know me saying my favourite character, if anyone is watching this who is a Discworld person, they'll either be cheering or vehemently disagreeing. So Vimes is the commander of the City Watch, which is the police force in the Discworld sort of major city of Ankh-Morpork. Vimes he rises up through the ranks to become the commander of the force, and so he is sort of satire on that kind of classic sort of grizzled street cop, school of life, hardened police officer who doesn't always play by the rules, but Vimes is, and he's brilliant, and all of his books feature, sort of crimes and murders and law and politics. So if you like crime novels, you'll enjoy the City Watch books. But also Vimes he's such a wonderful hero in that he isn't a hero. So he does always save the day in some way, but he does that by doing the least worst thing. He accepts that the world is unjust. He rails against the injustices of our world, but he knows that you have to work within them, and so he always comes up with a solution that works within the injustice. So things don't end perfectly, but Vimes always does the best he can, and I love him for that. And he's always, in my mind, and when I'm having a tough day, sometimes I think, well, what would Vimes do? And so briefly, in this book, The Night Watch, which is possibly my favourite book that features Vimes, he finds himself back on the streets of Ankh-Morpork, so dealing with all the rough characters and the crimes of the streets. And this book ends with a sort of big citywide rebellion, kind of manning the barricades stuff. And it is funny, but it's also really moving. And I remember the first time I was reading it, it was Christmas Day. And so Christmas was going on around me, and yet I was so absorbed in this book, in this rebellion, in what Vimes was going to do and what all of my beloved Discworld characters were going to do, that I just forgot about Christmas, and I was quite sad to be interrupted by a Christmas dinner because I wanted to read what was going to happen. So, wonderful books. And so, quickly, because I know this is a long video, one of my other favourite Discworld books is Going Postal. So this doesn't feature Vimes. He might be a background character, but the main character of this is Moist von Lipwig, who does feature in some other Discworld books and is extremely funny. And so this book is a sort of satire on the postal service, and on sort of how we replace letter writing with emails. And it is really funny, but also it has a lot of really sort of powerful stuff in there about the power of the written word, and about, when we write down our thoughts, our feelings, and send it to another person, there's a lot of power behind doing that. And those letters want to be read, which is one of the great things about this book. This I'm picking out is because it's one of my favourites, but it's also the first Discworld book I fell in love with. So I probably read about one or two other Discworld books before this. I haven't quite got what the thing about the Discworld was, why everyone loves it, and then I read this and I understood. This is quite a late book in the Discworld series, so that's the thing with the Discworld is you can start wherever you like. I'd say don't start at book one, just start at the first book that you think you might enjoy. And if you want, I can help you to figure out what sort of book that might be. If you want to leave something in the comments, I'll have a chat with you and hopefully recommend a Discworld book to start with, because you can start all of these with Devon Libraries. The Discworld books are available via the Libby app as both ebooks and audiobooks that you can download with your Devon Libraries card. So thank you for listening. Sorry I went on a bit, and happy World Book Night.